soon as the cameras stopped rolling, it was just fun. It was an enjoyable way to spend the day, and I'm certainly going to miss that. That's.
Okay, if we can get a microphone down the front row, and then we'll do some questions over this side.
Peter mainly, and Ian, and anyone else on the panel that perhaps has children, I wondered, with J.R.R. Tolkien's writings, I'm sure most people in the room would agree that that the books are brilliant. Do you think that there's still literature written for children today that's as good?
Do I think there's literature?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I think informed and influenced by him. And we have a children's book, wonderful children's book author sitting at this table, Evangeline Lilly. Squickerwonkers, highly recommended, who is venturing into that. The world of imagination, so.
Yeah.
Right, thank you. And if we can go to the gentleman in the hat in the front row, and then on to the blue coat.
Hello there. I've got a question from my 10-year-old son, Hag. It's to whoever's brave enough to answer it, really. There's now 6 movies. Which one's your favourite?
Oh.
I'd love to get all of you.
Fellowship.
Oh, good.
2 Towers. Fellowship of the Ring. I think maybe 2 Towers.
I think that's enough. Let's move
Yeah,
on.
I like the Battle of Helm's Deep, actually. I mean, I like the 2 Towers, but I like particularly the Helm's Deep sequence.
They're all brilliant.
Can you pass the mic along, please, with the lady and then the gentleman in the blue coat? Thank you.
Yes, Peter, given your daytime immersion in fantasy, what do you dream about?
Fran Walsh.
Sorry?
It's a very boring answer, but every time I make a movie, and these movies were no exception, the first day I start shooting, I start having a recurring nightmare every single night that I'm lying in bed and there's a film crew surrounding the bed, waiting for me to tell them what to do, and I don't quite know what movie I'm actually making. And I'm not sure, I don't think there's even a script, and they're all standing there needing to have information from me, and I'm in bed, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, and I can barely think straight. So I'm sort of, and that nightmare, I mean, this is the truth, that nightmare starts on the clock on the first day of shooting, and it's every night till the last day of shooting, and then it stops. So it's hell, because I have all day on set, then I go sleep, and it's all bloody night on set as well. So that's what I dream about, but it does stop. Just the day we stop shooting, it goes away, and then I have nice dreams.
Okay, gentleman in the blue coat, please. Thank you.
Congratulations, guys. It was a beautiful movie, and I can't wait to show my children. It's unprofessional of me to say, but I actually had a little cry. But in terms of the film, particularly the next generation seeing such powerful stories, and this is obviously cinematically telling Tolkien's story, I'm thinking about particularly, Martin, for yourself, do you feel a sense of pride that this is a story essentially about a little man, figuratively and literally, who's making a big impact on the world? And you think that's a message that's important to, in this day and age, pass on. You usually play a guy who's like the everyman, and how did you find putting yourself in this fantastical situation, because you weren't in the other one, so it's also new for you in your life as well?
I'm very proud of the films. I'm very proud of my participation. I'm proud on all our behalves, really. That's why I don't feel sad about this being, the third one. I want people to see it and like it. I think the message is pretty straightforward. It's not the first story in the world that kind of had that sort of message in human history. But I think the reason it recurs is because it's strong, and it's also it's aspirational because we want it to be true, but it is also true. Most actual heroes in the world are not 6'5" and look like Vikings. Most everyday heroes do not look like that. We all know that to be true. Hollywood doesn't always tell us that truth. That's why we think it's surprising that Bilbo could be a hero. Well, actually, most people that we've ever met who we would consider heroic or brave or inspirational don't look like Dolph Lundgren. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, Dolph is a lovely fellow. So yeah, I think it's not the first sort of tale in human history that's told. I think it's one that's worth retelling.
When you go around New Zealand, where you find a war memorial to the dead in every village, they're often represented by a statue, sometimes in concrete rather than marble, but it's always of some perfectly ordinary looking lad, isn't it? I find them extremely moving, and in Lord of the Rings, you know, Frodo doesn't get back home, as most of those lads didn't, but Bilbo does. So in a sense, the Hobbit is a movie with a happy ending.
I've got to just say that this cast at the table here, they're responsible for allowing you to connect with their characters, and I just think it was such wonderfully, you know, skillful to not allow the fact that you're a wizard or you're a hobbit or you're an elf or you're a dwarf to overwhelm the performance. That there was always, everyone here found the truth in the characters that they were playing, so you could connect with an elf or a dwarf or a hobbit, and it was fine. That was so important that these films had that, and it was going to depend on the skill of the cast, and these guys were superb. So.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Gentleman at the back, and then we'll come back down the front, please.
Over here?
Over there at the back.
Yeah, question to Peter Jackson and Andy Serkis. Question would be, Mr. Jackson, you've raised the bar several times as high as possible in doing the technical topic that you could do on screen. So after this is all over now, are you going to follow that path on, or doing maybe something completely different in the future, other films? And to Andy, you've grown yourself like a whole new career out of this experience. You raised the bar in motion capturing like no one else did. What are you going to do with it in the future?
Peter, do you want to go first?
I'm just trying to think of how I can help you. I've been the thing is, raising the bar with technology is really you do it because you have to do it. It's not, you know, it's not a chicken and egg thing really, where you say what's a great piece of technology we can develop and then let's find a script that we can use it with. I mean, we had to, you know, once we knew we were doing the Tolkien movies, we had to create battle scenes, and we had to write software, we had to create characters and creatures that didn't exist, and we had to, so the performance capture was developed, you know. So really it's always the technology is always driven by the needs of the story that you're telling. You know, if 17 years ago, instead of doing the Lord of the Rings, I was doing a drama in a fish and chip shop, then we wouldn't have developed performance capture, particularly unless we wanted a cod to jump around on the bench or something. But you know, so it's really you start with the project, with the story, and you think, how the hell are we going to do it? And it's how the hell are we going to do it is the thing that actually pushes the technology along. Is that sort of an answer?
That mixed with fearlessness, which you have in spades. That mixed with fearlessness, which you have in spades.
Well, it's not really. It's computer artists. It's fantastic people that are clever. I mean, I can't even do an email. Or you know, I'm an absolute idiot at computers, but fortunately, we're wonderful artists that you know. I just say, now how can we do this? And all these people, these very, very clever people do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know, performance capture has got an incredible future, and it is a marriage of performance, but it's also this incredible artistry, and also the heritage of artists and a culture. Because I realise, actually, coming back to the UK and working with other visual effects companies, that in fact Weta really have developed the most extraordinary singular pipeline in terms of transferring an actor's performance into an avatar character. And that is something that can be learned all around the world now to the degree. I mean, it is literally people who have, not only they're creating software and technology, but it is artistry. It's the way that the performances are interpolated and transferred from the you know, what is created on set. So, but I mean, Pete's quite right. I mean, for instance, just to answer your question personally, I mean, I'm directing Jungle Book at the moment, and you know, we're creating quadruped animals. Literally, people say, well, you can't possibly be. How can panthers and tigers, and you know, how can they possibly be played by humans? But in the same way that Small and Benedict doing this extraordinary job of giving life and soul and personality to, you know, a 150-foot dragon. You know, we're trying to break through in terms of technology that will, or methodology rather, that will help us break through into finding how we're going to anthropomorphise, how we're going to humanise these animal characters. So you find the tools that are necessary for each job.
And it's interesting, Annie, you just talking about the technology, but and the technology, you can create the technology to make these things happen, but it's the actor that provides the soul. You do use the word soul, and the technology ain't going to provide the soul. That's where the performance captures the soul of the actor. That's what it's great at.
Well, I think that's why it is such an extraordinary combination, really, because it is like what the visual effects team do, the way that they amplify the likes of characters, like Small or Gollum or all of those things, is what is revolutionary. It's that you do have that human connection, that you can sense the emotion, all of the choices that the actor makes on set with the other actors, all of that that you could never previously have the other actors imagine. Is there for free because it's real, it's happening, it's chemical and it's vibrant, and that is what is lifted and transferred onto these avatar characters, and that's why it is a beautiful storytelling tool and a really liberating tool for 21st century acting.
Thank you. To translate, they won't tell you what they're doing next. It's a secret. We'll go down the front then to the middle.
Question for Peter and Martin. How do you hope, Peter, the film as a whole will inspire children and today's generation? And Martin, how do you hope your character will inspire children?
Well, I hope I inspire children to make films. That's what my hope is. I guess really, obviously, the films can inspire people in other ways. I guess, but I'm sitting here today, being the result of TV and films I saw as a kid. Thunderbirds, the King Kong, Ray Harryhausen's movies. They're the reason why I'm here, because they just kind of they excited me. They inspired me to just become obsessive about making films. And so I do certainly, it would be a wonderful, wonderful thing if there were young kids today who were getting affected by our films in the same way. I'd be extremely proud of those.
Yes, so would I. Any effect you can have on an audience, or almost if it's good or bad, we'd rather have a good one. But any effect you can have on people is a plus. That's ultimately why we're doing it. It's why we're not doing it just in our bedrooms. You want to touch people, you want to communicate something in some way. I hope to inspire children to be obsessed over jewellery. never give it back to them.
Gentleman in the middle, you've got
Yes, hello. My name is Paul, I'm in Sweden. I have actually two questions for Mr. Jackson. They both concern the character of Beorn. You've chosen to play down his role in the final battle. Instead, you emphasize the fight between the Orc warlords and Legolas and Torio and that whole bit, which obviously I can see why. There's a beautiful ending to that love story. There are great action scenes. But I'd like you to elaborate a bit on why you've chosen to take that path with the story. And the second question concerns Beorn as well. Last year, around this time, in Berlin, I also asked you about Beorn. Obviously, he's played by a Swedish actor.
Interrogated. Yes. And now I'm going to pay the price.
Yeah. Yes, at that time, you told me that he was going to get more time in this film.
Did I? No,
what happened?
Somebody impersonating me must have said that. I tell you who looks exactly like me. Look, Beorn in the book of The Hobbit, he plays a very, very similar role to what he does in the film. It's he's a character that shows up at the very end of the battle. He's in this particular section of the book, so it's not really that different to the book. But what I was referring to is we actually shot some additional scenes with Beorn that were not in the book, and that's what I would have been talking about. But I have no memory of it at all. But anyway. If I did say that, and the extended cut, which will probably be about 30 minutes long, is definitely going to have some additional Beorn stuff amongst a lot of other things too.
That will make you smile then. Lady next to you in the orange jumper, please, and then the gentleman in front, please.
Hi guys, thanks for the film. I really enjoyed it. My question's for Luke and possibly Ryan. I don't know if he wants to answer as well. Were you disappointed when you went for an audition for The Hobbit and you had to play humans other than a wizard or a little person or a dwarf?
Well, I knew what I was going up for, so there was no I knew exactly I wasn't going to be up for Hobbit or anybody else. I was up for one of the only humans. There's not many of us written in the book, so I felt quite lucky in a way, especially when I saw the amount of hours they had to spend in the makeup chair every morning. I felt saving grace.
Yeah, not having to have the prosthetics is definitely an upside of not being a true elf or something. But
I would like the pointy hat though. I would like the pointy hat.
Ryan, you auditioned for a Hobbit.
I was originally cast as Drogo Baggins. I was a Hobbit originally.
Actually, you also auditioned for a dwarf.
I did, yeah.
Anyone he didn't audition for?
I did.
He tried to audition for an elf
I did
too.
several auditions. Ian doesn't know I was Gandalf for a while.
He actually, it was wonderful. Ryan came in. We'd seen his audition on tape. He'd made us laugh so hard, and he came in and he bought us coffee, and then he said, "I'm going to test you on your Tolkien knowledge." And we were like, "What is this boy doing?" He said, "No," and he gave us a test. But he was very funny, and so when Drogo.
I was Drogo.
You were Drogo Baggins.
I still have my
hit
Drogo
the
chip.
cutting room floor, so to speak. Hit the script cutting room floor, I should say. We loved him so much that we just had to keep writing for you.
And Jen, with the right microphone there.
Yes, Bruce Kirkland from the Toronto Sun Media in Canada.
You!
And a question for Sir Peter, and Sir Ian. Oh, wait a minute. Mr. Jackson and Sir Ian. No, I know. He's teasing us now, so. So, I can remember sitting at Cannes many years ago and asking Mr. Jackson if he was afraid of screwing all of this up. And now, all these years later, we see that there's 6 films, and now I can't imagine The Lord of the Rings without the Hobbit trilogy as well. It's a package deal. It got through all of the machinations of legal problems, and now we have 6 films. So I would love to hear from 2 of the gentlemen who have been part of this, you from the beginning and Sir Ian from the time that you first stepped on set, how you see the entire legacy of these films, not separately but together. So, Mr. McKellen, do you have thoughts on that?
I'd have to repeat myself and say that Peter has made a series of classic films. It's not a franchise. It's a series of stories that all link together.